don't like Dragon Ball Z is what a lot of you seem to think, because I say things like Dragon Ball Z is not a part of the big three. Dragon Ball Z is a part of the big three. I mean, factually, it's not. The big three of anime is Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach. They were officially given that title because they were running things during the golden age of Jump. They were the three manga that were the most popular and were killing it, and they all just so happened to release around the same time. I'm saying around the same time because I know some of you people that love to do research but don't want to use your ears to listen are going to be like, well, One Piece came out in 1999, Naruto came out in 2005, Bleach came out in 2006. I am throwing a fit. Hold up. The point is that those three were killing it in popularity and manga sales around the same time, which is why they garnered the name the Big Three, and why Dragon Ball Z did not get included in that conversation, because Dragon Ball started in the 1980s. So when I say things like Dragon Ball Z is not a part of the Big Three, it's not a slight at Dragon Ball Z or Akira Toriyama. I'm just stating the fact, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's a fact that I constantly have to remind you guys of. And while Akira Toriyama and his masterful work of the Dragon Ball franchise did inspire the creators of the Big Three, I can't get behind the Dragon Ball doesn't need to be in the Big Three because it's the father of the Big Three. I don't know why I did that. I'm sorry, bro. I can't get behind that because I think that that's just a way for Dragon Ball fans, which I do consider myself a Dragon Ball fan, but saying that Dragon Ball is the father of the Big Three is just a way for y'all to cope with the fact that it wasn't included in the Big Three conversation. So y'all had to make up this title that Dragon Ball was never given. People have called Dragon Ball Z the father of the Big Three, and even went as far to call Dragon Ball Z the father of anime, which wouldn't that be Astro Boy, factually speaking? I already know some of y'all are pissed off right now, so let me just take a moment to say, chill. It's not that deep, all right? We just talking. But honestly, I think that the title Father of Anime doesn't really suit Dragon Ball or the franchise or Akira Toriyama. I think that a better title, or at least what I think of Dragon Ball as, is The Bridge. Dragon Ball single-handedly bridged the gap and made anime incredibly popular here in the United States. Majority of the people that you know are going to say that Dragon Ball Z is the first anime that they ever watched, or at least it's the first anime they think of if they think of anime. And it doesn't matter if they're 40 years old, 30 years old, or in their okay, maybe early 20s, maybe not, because things have changed, but anyway, it made anime extremely popular here in the West, so I think that a better title for Dragon Ball would be the bridge anime or the gateway anime, you know, at least in my opinion. If you disagree, cool, but personally, I can't really get behind the whole godfather or father of anime. However, I will say this because I already know that some of y'all are gonna say it. Dragon Ball is probably the most influential anime to ever exist. I mean, a lot of the anime tropes that me and you have come to love are heavily inspired by Dragon Ball and the entire franchise. I'm going to surpass my limit! My friend just died in front of me. I'm 10 times stronger now. I'm about to pack you up. Wow, something is really wrong with me. How many times did we watch Goku surpass his limits and many other characters in the Dragon Ball family? Goku literally became a Super Saiyan because he watched his best friend get blown up in front of him. Same thing with Gohan. He watched Android 16 get packed out and then he snapped and went Super Saiyan 2 and bust Cell down. You see the trope of surpassing your limits and the power of friendship heavily in a bunch of animes that we love to consume now. Fairy Tail, My Hero, Naruto, One Piece. Like, it's a huge factor in a lot of animes that we love, and a lot of these animes came after Dragon Ball, so it's only right to give credit to Dragon Ball. It's incredibly influential. So just because I say things like Dragon Ball is not in the Big Three, which it isn't, doesn't mean that I'm discrediting, slighting, or that I don't like Dragon Ball. It was my first anime alongside Pokemon, so of course I love it. Oh wait, I forgot one. This is a big one too that just like ruffles a lot of people's feathers. When I say that Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero fell off, it's not me saying that the game sucked. I actually thought it was an incredible game, but the player base did shrink dramatically, and I actually do not think that it's Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero's fault. I think that gaming culture has just changed, you know? People are ready to move on to the next thing. They want to play what comes out when it comes out, and then a few weeks later another game is released, or honestly even the same week another game is released, and people are just ready to move on. People don't really stick to games or even finish out games anymore, and honestly I'm guilty of that. I'm trying to train myself out of that actively. If you tune into my Twitch streams, which you should, which you should, but if you do, you actively see me struggling to like stick to one game, and you'll actively see me saying, no, I need to check myself and finish out the game that I started. I got like 7 games right now that I need to go back and finish, to be honest with y'all though, bro. I am struggling. But anyway, the point is, I love Dragon Ball. I think that Akira Toriyama is a legend. Obviously, rest in peace. He's the freaking GOAT, you know what I mean? But don't just assume that people don't like things or people are disrespecting things just because they're saying their opinion or they're stating a fact. Not everything has to be taken personal in this anime world. You get what I'm saying?